Hello everyone and welcome back to Crypto Oracles. So today I'm going to show you what's going on in the markets. We're going to talk about Bitcoin, we're going to talk about Ethereum, we're going to talk about the flipping in between the two. I'm going to show you some of my charts and some of my trades. Next, we're going to take a look at some of the latest news. And then lastly, I'm going to give a bit of an insight on the most interesting and upcoming NFT sales, gaming, and decentralized applications. So let's get started right away by looking at today's chart and taking a look at how the markets look like today. So today, a bit of a dip, as we've seen from this morning. We touched briefly the $4,050 mark on Ethereum, and Bitcoin has been just hovering around the $50,000 mark. A lot of other cryptocurrencies are currently dipping further from the dip we've seen last week. But we've seen some strength in the markets. We've seen a lot of interest, and as we will see in the news. So one thing I would like to do today with you is actually take a look at the charts and try to compare Bitcoin with Ethereum. So this chart that I have here on my screen represents the market cap dominance of Bitcoin since the very beginning in 2013 all the way down to today. And what's interesting to see here is that in 2021, the dominance of Bitcoin across the market kept dropping, which means that now Bitcoin is only just about 40% of the total market cap of cryptos. And you can see this from here. Down here it says 41.59%. And this is the same number just put on a chart. And we can see this has been decreasing drastically over the last year. And we're pretty much at bottom levels after the dip in 2018. So what does this tell us? Well, it just tells us that there is a lot of interest in other coins, and majorly I will talk about Ethereum. So if we look at Ethereum dominance, this has actually been increasing, and I can see why. I mean, Ethereum has a use case. We've seen a lot of NFTs and projects launching on Ethereum despite gas fees. So you can imagine why there would be a lot more interest in Ethereum than in Bitcoin. We said Bitcoin is a storage value. Ethereum has a lot of use cases. So Ethereum dominance keeps growing. And if you take a look at the price and how the price has behaved, so this is my previous charts, you may have seen this in my previous videos, we've seen that Bitcoin is following the path that I somewhat predicted in a couple of weeks ago. And it's now just hovering at this support level at $48,000. So what we see from here is that this, despite the dip, that Bitcoin did try to retrace, but somewhat unsuccessfully. The price kept going down. But on the other hand, if you look at what happened to Ethereum, well, Ethereum has actually been really good at holding the price. So there's a very strong support area that goes on since mid-November at the $4,000 mark. So the longer we stay at this area, the $4,000, the more likely we are to bounce back from here, to bounce upwards from here in a bullish market. If we break below this area, then we're looking at $3,300, which is the next support zone. But I'm pretty bullish on this at the moment. I think we're gonna be hovering here for the rest of the month. So I don't expect this to drop drastically unless we see another market dip. Although as we've seen in the previous dip, Bitcoin retraced all the way down from $3,500 back to about $4,000. So this is a very good way of doing dollar cost averaging if you want to enter Ethereum and do some trades. And then lastly, I want to show you a chart of ETH against Bitcoin. So you usually probably look at ETH against dollars. So this tells you how many USDT you need to have to buy one Ethereum, so 4,000 about. And this tells you how many Bitcoin you need to buy Ethereum. And what this chart is telling me is that it's becoming more and more expensive to buy Ethereum with Bitcoin, and Ethereum is becoming more strong against Bitcoin. So this is a very, very interesting point, and we can see this in data provided to us as well from pro traders. So pro traders are currently more bullish on Ethereum than they are on Bitcoin. ETH has outperformed BTC in the last year by 230%. So that's already a good point, despite all the institutional investors we're seeing entering the market on BTC. Ethereum, 490 billion market capitalization, represent 54% of Bitcoin, 903 billion. So just about half of Bitcoin. And this ratio finished 2020 at a mere 15%. So in 2020, last year, ETH market cap was just 15%, so about 1/10 of Bitcoin. Now we're at half of Bitcoin. And for the reasons that I just explained, I can see why that would be. Another thing that we can look at is futures premium. So futures premium, quarterly future are a good way for whales and arbitrage desk to try to understand what's going to happen in the future for a certain product's price, in this case Bitcoin or Ethereum. It's usually not very much used by retail traders as it's a bit more complex, but in short, what we look at is at the premium that you pay for a future. And futures should usually trade at about 5 to 15% annualized premium in a healthy market. And what we can see from here is the comparison between Bitcoin and Ethereum. Is that Bitcoin futures trade at an average of 2.6 annualized premium for March 2022 and 4.4 for June 2022. So we're talking about the next 2 quarters. Well, for Ethereum, we're looking at 2.9 and 5%, so much higher premium, which means that whales and arbitrage desks are demanding a larger premium on ETH, and this is, of course, a very bullish indicator. Another way that we can compare the two is by looking at the long to short ratio, which is declining for ETH. So just keeping these images I had here, the long short ratio for Bitcoin traders currently stand at 1.21. So longs as people that are bullish on Bitcoin, shorts as people that are bearish on Bitcoin. So long to short 1.21, but this dropped from 1.39 on December 5th, and from 1.59 just 2 weeks ago. Well, if you look at Ethereum, Ethereum whales and arbitrage desks show a positive sentiment change when the long to short moved from 1.16 to 1. So we have a balanced state in between longs and shorts on Ethereum. So overall, really bullish on Ethereum and the ecosystem around it. But let's take a look at a couple of news today. The first big news is WhatsApp. WhatsApp is launching cryptocurrency payments pilot in the US at the moment. So as you can see from this image, you will be able to pay with cryptocurrency and send cryptocurrencies in WhatsApp. This is just a pilot at the moment. This is powered by Novi. And what they said is that sending a payment will work pretty much like sending any other attachment in WhatsApp. Now, if you think about the number of users of WhatsApp, we're talking about a billion of people. This is absolutely huge. So very, very bullish sign for the whole market. So you have to think very long term in these things. We're talking about 5 years down the line, we're going to see cryptocurrencies being used more and more for booking planes, booking houses, booking tickets, doing payments on a daily basis. Next up, Microstrategy says it bought 1,434 bitcoins since November 29th. So the company held about 122,000 bitcoins, which is worth about $6 billion. So Microstrategy, just when we saw the dip, they started buying. So when people started having a lot of fear in the space, they started accumulating more. And of course, we see MicroStrategy accumulating across the year. This does not mean they are in profit. Actually, they are not. If this year you managed to gain 1% across your portfolio, you did better than them. But this is still very bullish with looking at a much larger scale investor. Next, Polygon goes deeper into ZK tech by acquiring Mir for $400 million. Now, ZK rollups, this is a very, very interesting area we're going to cover in a video in the next couple of days. But in short, zero-knowledge protocols are a cryptographic algorithm that allows validators to verify encrypted data without revealing the data. So it means that you will be able to say and tell how much money you have in your wallet without actually opening up your wallet and showing how much is inside. This is a very, very interesting space. There's going to be a lot of projects coming up in the future, so it's worth monitoring. Mir has developed a recursive ZK proof system that can generate proofs with 170 milliseconds on a laptop, which is pretty impressive. And this makes it the fastest recursive proof generator and ideal for building an Ethereum-compatible ZK virtual machine. So very good news for Polygon, very good expansion, very good work on their side. Next up, Coinbase announces support for hardware wallets, starting with Ledger. This is also really bullish. This means that you will be able to have ownership of your cryptocurrencies. Right now, if you use Coinbase, it's a very secure wallet, but you're not strictly speaking you don't have custody of your coins. Well, they will allow you to store those coins on your own hardware wallet, which I definitely recommend having, especially if you're looking at large investments. And lastly, I want to leave you with 3 gems that are going to go live this month. The first one in the gaming space is Metastrike. This is an all shooter game. It's really, really well built. It's a blockchain-based virtual reality for a shooter in the metaverse. They're going to launch, I think, on the 14th, and you can find more details on Sidify, which is the main launchpad for the game. Another one launching this month is Sidius NFTs. Sidius is another game, Sidius Heroes, absolutely amazing, absolutely stunning graphics. The game just looks beautiful. There is a lot of people behind it. There is a lot of interest behind it. This is also launching this month on Sidify. And then lastly, I want to leave you with Astroport. We're going to make a video about this. We talked about Terra Luna in the past. So Astroport is an automated market maker. You can think of it as SushiSwap or Uniswap, for example, based on Terra Luna. This will be the one stop for swaps on Terra Luna. And they built an incredibly complex and interesting automated market maker. It's rather complex for this video, but it's definitely very interesting. They're going to be launching this month. And the way they're going to launch, I'm going to put the link in the description down below. It's by doing a Astro drop. So it's actually a very fair way of doing this. They're going to simply ask you to get liquidity, provide liquidity on TerraSwap, which means that you provide dollars and Luna. And they give you liquidity tokens, and then you move those liquidity tokens into Astroport. And from there, you start accumulating Astro over time, depending on how long you lock your liquidity tokens. So this is it for today. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you very much for sticking around. Don't forget to subscribe and smash the like button. We drop a video nearly every day, keeping you informed on all the news in the crypto space. Thank you, and I will see you tomorrow.